Another example of that is Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner made news. And Brittany Griner made news the other day because why?
Stephen A. Smith just shook the whole WNBA to its core. No heads up, no sugarcoating, just straight up truth. He dropped a bombshell tied to none other than Brittany Griner, and the internet went crazy. Yep, you heard it right. Stephen didn't just toss shade, he brought cold, hard receipts. And when he talks, even the big bosses gotta listen. This wasn't just some fan gossip. It's got the league scrambling behind the scenes, and Brittany, she's been spiraling out of control.
You notice some of Brittany Griner's strange behavior behind WNBA Commissioner Catherine Engelbert. This may be the real reason why she is still in the league.
Folks been suspicious for a minute, but after Stephen dropped his intel, everything started making sense like pieces of a wild puzzle. The on-court aggression, wild elbows with no warning, trash talk that crosses the line, and those chaotic rants on social media, people are saying now it looks less like passion and more like a distraction, a way to cover something up. And now that one question that's been floating in whispers for years is right up front. Is Brittany really who she says she is?
Brittany Griner was in a Russian prison. You would think that somebody who is now free, back in America on home soil, would not have too much to complain about.
That's not some little rumor. This one's got serious weight. And fans? They're putting the puzzle together real fast. It's not looking pretty. The WNBA's got a serious problem on its hands, and people want answers now. Why's the league been working overtime to shield Brittany from criticism? Why were all the warning signs ignored? And most importantly, what's in those mysterious documents Stephen hinted at? Because if what's being whispered behind closed doors turns out to be true, this ain't just about basketball anymore. Lately, Brittany's been all over the headlines, bumping heads with other players, elbows flying like it's WWE, and tension building by the second. But now folks are saying maybe it ain't just game stress. Maybe she's been hiding something much deeper. And the moment that truly sent everything into chaos? Stephen A. Smith's fiery sit-down on the Valuetainment podcast. The second Brittany's name popped up, especially her beef with Caitlin Clark, it was game on. The energy flipped instantly. Stephen and the panel didn't hold back at all. They called her out as a bully, said she's been acting entitled and doesn't appreciate the game or the platform she's been given. But then Stephen dropped the hammer. He brought paperwork, official documents. And the second Stephen revealed what was in those documents, social media went wild. He claimed that Brittany Griner's DNA results had finally gone public. And the details? Way more intense than anyone ever expected. Now everyone's asking, how in the world did he even get his hands on that info? That's when things took an even wilder turn. Word is, back when Brittany was locked up in that Russian prison, she had to go through all kinds of medical tests. But what the public never heard? Russian authorities supposedly ran a full DNA analysis on her, using samples from some unrelated procedures. And just like that, the secret leaked. According to Stephen's sources, that DNA test revealed some wild markers, traits that could explain Brittany's insane strength, power, and the way she owns the court like no one else in the league. People been asking for years, how is she so athletic? She's fast, strong, and moves with force that seems way beyond the average WNBA player, even ones her size. Fans been whispering for a long time, but nobody had any real proof. Until now.
Griner, who was imprisoned in Russia, in a man's prison, which I had no idea.
Is under fire for extremely aggressive behavior portrayed toward Caitlin Clark, the rookie from last year, the one that has everybody's focus in the WNBA. And this incident has, of course, gone viral online, but also sparked up some other skeletons in Brittany's closet that she probably wants to stay hidden.
And let's not forget that aggression, non-stop elbows, teammates catching bruises, and fouls that look more like tackles than basketball moves. Folks been replaying the clips of her going at Caitlin Clark, like, how is this not getting flagged? The game can be rough, yeah, but this ain't the UFC. And the crazy part? While her opponents are left limping off the court, Brittany's walking away like nothing happened. Unless she's got something different in her blood. Something that's giving her an edge. Something the league didn't want anybody digging into. Let's keep it real. There's a reason men's and women's sports are kept in separate lanes. It all comes down to biology. Different builds, strength, energy systems. We're talking height, speed, endurance, recovery, all on completely different levels. So when one athlete shows up with almost superhuman abilities, it's no surprise that fans are now raising serious questions. And they didn't waste time either. People started diving into Brittany Griner's past like full-on internet detectives, every old clip, every viral moment that once seemed random or just hype. That's when fans really started side-eyeing everything, especially that viral poolside clip that blew up on Instagram. People were asking, wait, how did that video not get flagged? It showed Brittany fully baring her chest in public. No blur, no censor, just out there. And somehow, it stayed up. Now let's be real. If any other woman posted something like that, the platform would have yanked it down immediately for violating nudity rules. No questions asked. But for Brittany, crickets. That's when the internet started buzzing. Folks weren't trying to shame her or play identity police. It wasn't about morals. It was about facts and fairness. Rules gotta apply to everybody, not just some. So when things start getting swept under the rug for one person, people catch on. Fast! And all roads keep leading back to Stephen A. Smith. He didn't just stumble on this drama. He came locked and loaded with receipts, public documents, real talk. Then he dropped his uncensored take in that interview that had folks watching with their jaws on the floor. And listen, when he started bringing up Brittany's time in that Russian prison again, you could tell he was being real careful with his words. Like he knew something massive, but couldn't say it all. He was holding something major back. Let's not forget, Brittany didn't just get released from Russia, she got traded. For Victor Bout, yes, the merchant of death. A global arms dealer who was out here plotting chaos on a whole other level. And we're supposed to believe the US swapped him for a basketball player caught with a little cannabis? Come on now, that math don't add up. That's why folks are digging deeper. What was really behind that high-stakes deal? Could it be there was way more to her story than just a drug bust?
Remembering who they let out to get her back.
The
or
merchant
American
of
soul.
death.
The merchant of death. An arms dealer that wanted to kill American citizens, according to the reports. That's who they let out.
Mm-hmm.
For her. You would think that you would be smiling, you would be ecstatic, you would be happy, and something like this wouldn't faze you at all. The fact that it does is disturbing. I'll leave it at that.
Because when world governments start cutting massive trades like that, it's usually covering something huge. Fans could feel it. Something smelled off. And Stephen A., he basically confirmed it without even saying it outright. During that explosive interview, he kept dropping subtle hints that the Brittany Griner swap wasn't just a goodwill move, it looked like a strategic cover-up. And when he kept repeating that Brittany should be grateful, people raised eyebrows. That didn't sound like a casual comment. It sounded like a warning. Like maybe, just maybe, the WNBA wasn't just saving her freedom. They were protecting a secret. And now the theory's picking up serious steam. Word on the street is, the WNBA already knew that if Brittany stayed locked up in that Russian prison even a few days longer, her real medical records would have leaked. Not the polished ones they used to help her get into the league, but the raw, unedited truth that could have flipped everything upside down. Fans ain't letting this go either. One person posted, "I don't even like Stephen A. Smith like that, but he nailed this one. Absolutely nailed it." Another dropped the $1 million question. If Griner is officially female, then why was she sent to a male Russian prison? And boom! Just like that, people started going down deep rabbit holes trying to figure out what really happened behind those bars. But it didn't stop there. Stephen even called Brittany out for a wild rant. She allegedly went on about the WNBA and its fans. The quote that's been flying around got folks straight up confused and heated. Brittany supposedly said WNBA games used to be calm, like a chill space. You could bring your laptop, relax, maybe even get some work done. Then she allegedly added, now it's like there's big crowds watching from the stands, and some of them are yelling wild stuff about what they're seeing, putting pressure on us like we're just there to entertain them. And that's pretty gross. But the part that really set folks off? She reportedly said, I saw a man and his daughter in the crowd, both yelling. Couldn't make out the words, but it was either about how I was playing or something lightly racist.
Brittany, a few weeks ago, you fouled out of an Indiana Fever game. Cameras caught you saying something on the bench. It's hard to tell what you said. Can you tell us what you said?
I remember fouling out, being mad. I remember fouling out on, I believe it was Howard, driving to the basket. They said I put my hand in. But hey, I'm never really happy with officiating, so.
But what did you say?
I really can't remember what I said, honestly.
If I showed you the video, would that help?
No, it wouldn't help.
It wouldn't help?
No.
One of the two. Now here's the kicker. That whole quote came from a meme account that posts fake jokes and satire. But the way it blew up online, people thought it was real. And the craziest part? Brittany never denied it. No comment, no clarification, and that silence, it only made things messier. What started as a joke post somehow hit way too close to home. It lined up a little too well with what a lot of fans already believed. Like satire turning into a mirror, reflecting all the quiet doubts folks had for years. And now that Stephen A. Smith has stepped in, dropping bold claims and paperwork. Stephen A. Smith didn't just say Brittany Griner disrespected the league, he said she insulted everybody. The fans, the ones paying to see players leave it all on the court, and the entire sport that gave her a platform. If that viral quote really reflected how she feels, then she wasn't just venting. She was throwing serious shade at the whole WNBA. But here's the wild twist. Stephen didn't pull up empty-handed. He came with real documents. Not gossip, not fan theories, straight paperwork. And what's being claimed in those papers? It could mean Brittany Griner is breaking one of the WNBA's core eligibility rules. If that turns out to be true, the league might be in for a massive shakeup. Meanwhile, Brittany's been acting more unhinged by the day. Fans say she's spiraling, on and off the court. Remember when she fouled out after clashing with Caitlin Clark? That meltdown went viral. Witnesses claim Brittany lost it and threw out a slur in the heat of the moment. Some say she shouted, "White effing girl and trash." Others say it was whack effing call. And Brittany? She said she doesn't even remember saying anything like that. But let's be honest, that doesn't help. The damage was already done. The clip went everywhere, and the backlash hit hard. Now, with all these rumors and Stephen's interviews flooding the internet, Brittany's public image is taking hit after hit. She's coming off more bitter, more defensive, and way less composed than fans are used to seeing. And just when you thought the drama hit max level, boom, new reports dropped suggesting the WNBA might be protecting her on purpose. Why? Some are saying she checks all the boxes for their so-called woke agenda. But here's the big question. If Russian authorities discovered something serious about her during that prison stay, how did the WNBA miss it? Or worse, did they know and just cover it up? Because let's be real, if that truth had leaked early, the backlash would have flipped the entire league. Now, to be crystal clear, none of these claims have been officially confirmed. But that hasn't stopped social media from running with it like it's 100% fact. And the takes online? Brutal. One user wrote, "Make her pay back every penny she earned under false pretenses." At this point, isn't this starting to look like straight-up identity fraud? Like falsifying records, pretending to be something you're not? Fans are calling it out. saying it's more than just a personal issue. They're digging through Brittany Griner's entire history now, rewatching old game clips, dissecting interviews, and replaying locker room interactions. One fan even asked, didn't any of her teammates find it weird that she never changed clothes in front of them after all those years? That question alone, it's got people looking at everything in a whole new light. And let's not forget, Stephen A. Smith does not back down when he smells something fishy. If he really has those DNA results in his possession, he's not just aiming at Brittany. Nah, he's going after everyone who helped keep this under wraps. Coaches, league reps, executives. No one's off limits. If that leak turns out to be real, the WNBA might be staring down the biggest scandal in league history. And the worst part? It looks like Brittany's about to take the full hit. All the pressure, all the heat, it's stacking up fast. She looks shook, scrambling to fix the damage, but it might already be too late. So now the question is, what do you think? Is this all just wild internet noise? Or is there something way deeper going on with Brittany Griner? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to know what you're seeing. If you made it this far, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay locked in. Smash that bell so you don't miss the next deep dive, because this story is just getting started. Catch you in the next one!